Hey guys, Default here. Today I'm going to give you guys another podcast video today. So sit back, relax, and leave a like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So this is going to be kind of a really short podcast video or Disney video, the Disney Talks video. I know I sound like really tired. I actually slept for about like 10-11 hours, so I'm like just super tired right now from waking up. I did wake up like at 7 in the morning and I went back to sleep, and then yeah. So sorry if I sound really tired, and sorry about the fan going off, because in my room I don't get enough like ventilation in here, so I'm blowing in like cool air in here. So if I shut it off, it would just start getting like really hot in here. So sorry about the fan and stuff like that. So I did get a new tripod though, so you guys can like see everything right now. Hopefully when I get a new desk too, the desk will be like right here basically, and you guys will end up seeing the famous wall that you guys usually see in my other videos that I usually do. But either that, I'll have like a different like layout or whatever. But anyways, I wanted to talk about the Enchanted Tiki Room getting like reskinned, I guess, if that makes sense, because this just randomly brought upon me. I don't know anything about this. I just really want to share this right now, and it's just random that I didn't know anything about it. Shout out to In the Chris, I believe that's what the YouTube channel is. I'm gonna do a pop-up right here, and then not only that, I'm gonna do another pop-up right here, because for one, these two photos. So the first one is obviously the channel. Shout out to him or her. I do actually really like the content that she actually put out for Tiana's Bayou, because the lackluster of that ride, I did hear that there are a lot of issues about that ride. It's always shutting down, there's always glitches about the animatronics, they always have to drain the water out because something, I don't remember, but evacuations off of the ride all the time. And not only that, I believe that the Disneyland version's coming in November 4th, 2024, I believe. That doesn't look like it's going to be promising, to be honest with you, or it's going to be promising that it's going to be released on the day, but like by the ride itself, it doesn't look as like good it's going to be. Not only that, just randomly brought upon me is that the Enchanted Tiki Room is going to be replaced, at least at Magic Kingdom. I don't know about Disneyland or anything like that. I need to probably do more research about that. But usually I know we're supposed to do this every Sunday and stuff like that, and kind of just like show off what I've known about Disney news. But lately I haven't been keeping up with it because I haven't been really paying attention to it, excuse me, because the whole Snow White thing that's been happening, and I kind of just like, you know, like I don't even really care, to be honest with you. So yeah, I just haven't been really paying attention to the Disney parks, and lately there's been kind of like not secrecy stuff, but just kind of like little trinkets of stuff that are kind of like they're trying to replace without even like really telling us, you know. So they're kind of sneakily like taking it away without even like really making a big deal out of it, you know. But this is one of the things that are a big deal, because if Disney is replacing the Enchanted Tiki Room, and I'm gonna go like in depth of why they're changing it in just a second. But they are changing the Enchanted Tiki Room. Let me just remind you, I know that the the original Enchanted Tiki Room, excuse me, is one of the first animatronics amusement. What is it? I can't think of the word, but it's the first animatronic like attraction that had an official animatronics, the animatronic birds. Because I remember watching a documentary about like the Enchanted Tiki Room at one point was going to have real birds, which obviously wouldn't really make any like logical sense, because you have to feed the birds, and not only that, you know, bird crap everywhere, so obviously so they made animatronics, which is really cool. But other than that, after like so many years, that's like the most well-known attraction from Walt Disney, because that's the first animatronic attraction. I believe that's correct. Again, I don't really know a lot of this stuff. I'm just a really big fan of like the animatronics and just Disneyland in general. I don't know a whole lot of it, so don't bash me on this, but I believe that's the first attraction that has animatronics. But after all of that, blah, 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 skip all the way to 2024, we are getting a Moana one. I don't know anything about that. I'm just kind of baffled at the fact that they are trying to replace it, because I'm going to start going in depth. They're replacing it because they want to step away from voodooism and basically religious stuff. Let me remind you that they already made Princess and the Frog. Not only that, they've already made what's another movie? I'm trying to think of like other like religious stuff. Hercules. In the Chris, she also mentioned Hercules, which is one of them. Watch her or his video or channel, because it gives you more in depth of that video, or the religious stuff. So I only know like a little bit of the stuff. I just watched it literally just now. So shout out to them, because they're top-notch content. But other than that, yeah, it's just like religious stuff that they've already made in the past, and Disney wants to step away from that, basically, because they're literally making a live-action Hercules movie, supposedly, that's in the works, kind of, like, since, like, 2 years ago. So, they're making a movie on Greek gods, still. They're still in the works on it, but they want to step away from the religion stuff. That doesn't make any sense. That's just word for word what they're doing. So I get it that they're trying, and not only that, like Moana is, like the demigods and stuff like that. So come on, like it's just, I don't know if that's really religious, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't know why my throat's like a little mucusy today. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing that they're replacing a historical monument to their parks. Maybe not to Magic Kingdom, but if they start getting ideas to replace Enchanted Tiki Room over at Disneyland, again, I don't know anything about it. I just, again, photo, like they're just kind of replacing their old stuff for newer generation, which is fine. But it's not fine to replace something that made Disney, like you can't, like, I'm going back to the thing that I usually always say, Disney is trying to sweep stuff under the rug and try to, like, here you go, here's a Moana thing, or a new version of this movie, blah, 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 which they shouldn't hide something that they've already made for years. Like, Splash Mountain. Why would you hide something that you've made? Not only that, successfully made it popular to this day, or in the generations past, and try to sweep it under the rug, even though the new thing is not even working. So why would you do that? But that's just Disney for you. That's just the way that they roll now, because they want to cater to the new generation, because the cancel culture, or because the whatever they want to cater to, which is not really fixing anything. It's not really doing anything. It's just making things worse as it is. But I feel like again, I don't know anything about this. I just randomly got this information off of a video. The Enchanted Tiki Room, I might be flipping late, probably. But the Enchanted Tiki Room is being changed by Moana, like a Moana themed thing or whatever, because the tikis, I guess, or something like that. I don't really know. But it's kind of just like, wow, like they kind of just dropped that, to be quite honest with you. Just instead of making something new, instead of investing more money, investing in more money into attractions, they're just going to replace old stuff too, just because, it's very disappointing to see that. I know it's Magic Kingdom, so it won't really like, it won't really surprise me, pretty much, because was it Epic Adventure is coming out over at Universal, so, or whatever the heck it's called, I don't know. that new park that Universal's making. So this is their response, basically, is to replace old stuff to make new stuff, which honestly is already really not working, because you replace the Splash Mountain and there's a big old stir about that. And not only that, trying to replace, I think they were trying to replace Adventureland or Frontierland for something else. I can't remember. I know I talked about it in the last video. I'm sorry. They want to replace that, which is kind of dumb, because why would you do that? Because that's a big area that you put Fantasia in, Tom Sawyer Island. I know it's just for Magic Kingdom possibly, but for Disneyland also, it's kind of like, you don't really need to change that. And I'm actually thankful that Disneyland in Japan has not changed at all since they've been opened, at least by far that I know of. But I'm glad, to be honest with you, because they haven't been touched at all. They were trying to like get them to do it, but Disneyland or Japan's like, no, like it's a sacred thing, you know. It's a historical thing that they should never be scarce of. Which I honestly do like. I do respect the Japanese for keeping that, because the historical things that they have put in Disneyland is a memorable thing. It reminds you of, you know, like the elderly, what they've missed about Disneyland, and also to show history that what Disneyland was. And you replacing that doesn't make it memorable anymore. Now it's just like IPs like Star Wars to newer Disney princesses, which, to be honest, they're not even really that good. I mean, look at Wish in that matter. Yeah, the movie Wish, I went to go see that on day one, and it was kind of overwhelming. I guess that's I'm trying to use that word in the right term. It was just, it was marketed a lot, I guess, and I watched it and I was kind of just like, okay, this is a movie, but yeah. I mean, I probably need to rewatch it again, to be honest with you, just to kind of like sink it in. But when I watched it the first time, it was kind of just like, I didn't like any of the music. I feel like that the talking goat, was kind of just like, yeah, you know. But I'll get back into that. But trying to get back into the historical part and why Disney is trying to hide their historical stuff and their monumental attractions in their parks is kind of destroying the I want to say ecosystem of the Disney fan base or something like that, but that doesn't really make any sense to me, or at least to you guys. But just the overall what is it, the consumer, the overall consumer, you know, like you realize that most of the people that go to the Tiki Room is most likely just to go there for air conditioning and the animatronics. You know, obviously the animatronics probably do need to get reworked, because you can still hear like the mechanisms, like that whole thing going on in the Tiki Room, which is fair because that ride is really old, the attraction is really old, which is very understandable. But instead of just replacing it all in general, why don't you just fix it? Obviously, you know, people are gonna say, well, because it takes a whole lot more money to fix those animatronics than just making new ones. Yet again, we saw Tiana's Bayou, and they spent barely any money, and they barely even work. So I'd rather spend the more money to invest into refurbishing the animatronics than making a whole new one and wasting 10 times more money. So, you know, but hey, you know, that's just Disney. You know, they like to hide their history because they're just ashamed of themselves, but they shouldn't be, because remember, a lot of memorable things happened during those movies and during those times to several people, especially me. I mean, the Tiki Room is not my favorite thing in the whole world, but I do remember a lot of things going on with, you know, with family, when I go for family reunions over at Disneyland. I've never been to Magic Kingdom ever in my life, which I still want to. That's part of one of my things on my bucket list, to be quite honest with you. But I think Florida, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, because it's so hot during the summer. I don't think I'm gonna go for the summer. Most likely during the winter time. But I hate the heat, to be honest with you. I just hate being hot. I don't even go to Arizona or Las Vegas in that matter. So because it's so flipping hot, or Texas in that matter. But I do hear that Texas gets really cold during the winter. Let me know in the comments down below. Is Texas really actually cold during the winter, or is that fake? I don't know. I've never been outside of California besides Washington State and Oregon. That's really it, and maybe Vegas. I went to Vegas for my 21st birthday, and it was okay. I lived in Arizona for a little bit, for about 6 months, but I don't remember really anything because I was only 5 or 6 years old. But yeah. Other than that, I haven't been really out to the east of the world, or the middle west of the United States or whatever. So, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I've never been outside of California more than maybe 5-6 times. So, hey, that's just Disney though. That sucks though. And honestly, that kind of hit me in the soul right here, because for one, if they do replace the Enchanted Tiki Room over at Disneyland, I don't know. I probably need to get researched on it, and I'll probably end up showing a post if they do. But if they start touching the Tiki Room over at Disneyland, Anaheim, I'm actually legitimately gonna cry. Because for one, that is my grandma's favorite attraction. She went to Disneyland when she was a little girl. Basically, on day one, she's been going. She's the same age as Disneyland. So seeing my grandma's favorite attraction, if it gets replaced in Anaheim for Moana, I would be heartbroken. And most likely my grandparents will too, or my grandma especially. So, you replacing this, Disney, if you're watching this and you're watching any other YouTuber or any Disney influencer that sees this, keep this in mind, that you are throwing away your historical, your monumental attractions that made you, not your IPs, or not just your IPs, but your attractions, your memorable attractions. Because if, I'm going to tell you this right now, if you end up changing It's a Small World, even though that not a lot of people think that this is a really good attraction, but it's still a memorable one. If you start replacing that, if you start replacing, trying to think of another one that's a more memorable thing, basically an older attraction, It's a Small World, the Enchanted Tiki Room, the Jungle Cruise. I mean, they sort of changed the Jungle Cruise, which actually made it better and a little bit more lengthier, so it's fine. But if they completely drastically change it, then it's just why? Pirates of the Caribbean, if they ever change that, because during that time, come on, it was in the Caribbean. You know what happens in the Caribbean? For everybody studying their history books. Yeah, there's a lot of same thing as in the Frontier. Remember in the Frontier, there's a lot of slavery and stuff like that, and people don't know anything about that. But I just brought it up, and now people are gonna hate me for it. So. Oh man, but hey, there's a lot of things that Disney has that they should work with, instead of just kind of basically researching, kind of reskinning it, and just kind of oh yeah, we didn't know about that, hey, and it's kind of just, I don't feel confident enough with Disney right now. I really don't. Their lack of feedback, or their paying attention to feedback, is excruciating, because they're just not paying attention to the legitimate fans instead of the Disney influencers, which honestly are probably the ones that are ruining the whole situation, is making it worse. But hey, go what you think that is good, but at the same time, the people that are willing to stand by your side, and sorry, I got a text. A little random. I was like, the heck? Sorry, I'm recording on my phone and I get a text message, so it's just like all sideways. So I'm just like, the hell? Okay, sorry. But yeah, it's honestly kind of heartbreaking. It's a little, because I mean, like, look at Snow White. I'm gonna go back to the Snow White thing. So the Snow White thing, because that's their very first animated film in theaters or theater, and they're just having this backlash, because I did also hear that they're what is it, Daily Wire is making a new Snow White film, counterparting the Snow White film for the Disney movie. Is, wow, like, people are that passionate about Snow White. I mean, I'm not a big Disney princess fan, but it's just kind of like, wow, people were actually really care about this. And I'm actually really happy that the people are defending, like, what makes Disney Disney, and not just a corporate thing and a monetized company, you know? Like, people make memories of Disney, you know? Like, Disney, for me, again, Disney, my favorite Disney film is Fox and the Hound. It's my favorite flipping movie in the world. Like, and also Bambi too. I do have like a couple of trinkets of Bambi and stuff like that, which I wish I can show. I don't want. Well, you know what? I'll just bring this one out, because I know I have the pin. So there's like stuff on it, and it's all dusty. But hey, you know, I love Bambi. I love Thumper. I don't have Bambi, but yeah, Thumper. Thumper's my favorite one. I do have like a little glass, or was it ceramic thing, but it's over at my mom's house. My grandpa got that for me before he passed away. My great grandpa, because that was my favorite. Bambi and Fox and the Hound were my favorite like Disney films, because how like artistic they were, and not only that, the music and just, it's so nice. And I love the wilderness, to be quite honest with you. In my head, I love to go to the forest and just what is it, like, view the animals, the waterfalls, the lakes, the trees. You know, I love, specifically when I go to Washington State. The one time I went, I loved how like it was just peaceful. It was just nice. But anyways, yeah, replacing showing that there's two different Snow White movies. One's from like an actual YouTube or some like political group or whatever that's making a Snow White movie. Let me remind you too that this is a political group, and that I believe it's their own funds that are making a way better looking Snow White movie, which I believe only saw like the 30-second teaser or whatever, the 10-second teaser, which you guys should watch. It's called it's the Daily Wire Snow White film. You should check that out. And then the Disney one, which obviously you guys probably saw on D23 or D23. And then seeing that being basically produced and actually officially coming out this year, I believe, or next year, and getting tons and tons of backlash, which is not very good, because that's going to tell you a whole lot once the movie comes out, that probably not a lot of people are going to watch this movie. I mean, if that doesn't tell you anything, then I don't know what will. And not only that, the Disney Mufasa movie is coming at the same time as Sonic 3. And I'm not gonna lie, Mufasa does look really good. I'm not gonna lie to you, because the live action Lion King was kind of like 50-50. It was okay, but it wasn't really that good. I mean, I honestly, I did like that Childish Gambino or Donald Glover was Simba, the older Simba, and Beyonce was the older Nala, which is really nice. But at the same time, that you can only do so much to put like higher actor and actresses and singers. And it's just kind of like, you can't do that all the time. You can't depend on that most of the time. And remaking movies is not going to help you a lot. So I'm just telling you, Disney, right now, you really need to focus on like making newer stuff. I mean, A Strange World was one of the things, and I did see the Inside Out did amazing in the box office. I actually rewatched it on Disney Plus. It wasn't actually a bad film. I remember my first part of review of like a couple podcasts ago, or a couple episodes ago. That was kind of like, it seems like too girly. But then I rewatched it again. It wasn't actually that bad. Maybe it's just I wasn't really paying attention to it, to be quite honest with you, because I was kind of just like, like, you know, I like the first one, but the second one was kind of like, it was just too much. Not really, I wouldn't say, but anyways, it was still good regardless. But yeah, Disney, you really honestly need to rethink your situation here, because you could not go bankrupt, but just not threatening a company. I'm not really threatening Disney, but I'm just trying to give you advice, to be quite honest with you. Disney, you really need to listen to your legitimate fans and the people that are wanting to basically wonder why we're spending so much money, and you're increasing Disney Plus prices and trying to ideally give us a reason why we should spend money on your subscription service, and the reason why to spend money over your theme parks and merchandise, because much of the majority of your merchandise is only Marvel's Avengers and your most recent attraction, which is Tiana's Bayou right now. And instead of focusing on those, you should be honestly focusing on making new stuff, you know, something that works, something yeah, okay, fine, put out Zootopia 2 and Moana 2, sure, but at the same time, you have to make new stuff, use stuff that you hadn't used in a long time, like Rocketeer. Make something new out of it. Shoot, make another Tomorrowland movie. That movie wasn't very well received, but I think it was a really good movie. But maybe make another 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I don't know. You guys get literally like everything in your arsenal to use. So why don't you use it? You know. But man, like it's just honestly so sad to see a Goliath of a company just not listening to like anybody that isn't a Disney influence or a Disney influencer, or anybody that's really honestly wanting to show them like, hey, this is not really working, so we need to change it. But they're not willing to change it unless it revolves around making something new that doesn't really work, or throwing something away that you shouldn't even throw it away in the beginning, because honestly that's the most iconic thing. And the only reason why, and people are wondering why they didn't put Dr. Facilier, I believe I'm saying that right, the Princess and the Frog villain, the only reason why they didn't put him in the ride is because he's a voodoo doctor. So because again, they're stepping away from religion, which they already have Hercules and Moana, which is kind of demigodish or god-ish. So Disney, come on, like, you're not paying attention to what you're putting out there. But hey, you know, like that's Disney for you. They don't pay attention to the fine print that they've already put out and they have already said. So but hey, that's what they want to do. That's how they react into what is it, Epic Adventure or Epic Universe, or whatever the heck it's called over at Universal Studios. Then, you know, that's their response to, and their reaction to that park, is that they think, and this is honestly basically going to be a wake-up call, hopefully, that maybe they already have a wake-up call and they're kind of just realizing like, oh yeah, like woke is not really working, Disney influencers are not, because I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, majority of the Disney influencers, they sneak into your parks, Disney. So just telling you right now, most of the majority of the people that you're trying to financially pull in is not working, because majority of them can't even afford to even pay tickets. True, I can't even pay tickets to go to Disneyland, but hey, you don't see me sneaking into the parks. But just putting it out there, Disney, majority of your Disney influencers sneak into your parks. So yeah, I don't really know what you're gonna do. I don't know how you're gonna pull a good one out of this after when Epic Universe. I mean, I'm not gonna go to Epic Universe because it's in Florida, but I'm just saying, like that looks more promising than the fact that you're replacing Splash Mountain with Tiana's Bayou, which is already not doing very hot right now. I don't even think it's working at this moment right now. So, yeah, I just, hey, you could do whatever you want to do, and hopefully that you could do the most that you can with that, because hey, just yeah, you could just do it, because it baffles me that the fact that again, a Goliath company just willing to not pay attention to any of their actual consumers that are actually paying for their subscriptions, even though they've been raising the price about like $2. And then not only that, the people that are actually buying the merchandise, the people that are actually buying the tickets, and all their movie tickets and stuff like that to go see this stuff, and actually legitimately not like getting paid to review this. It's actual legitimate Disney reviewers and Disney fans, not just people that you paid to watch this. The Disney influencers, they're gonna say like, oh yeah, Disney Wish was actually a really good movie, but in reality that movie was kind of like, it was not like bad, it was kind of just like, okay, like you just put out this movie just because it was the holiday season, and not only that, it was, I'm gonna admit the art style was really, really pretty. I'm not gonna lie, like it was really, really cool. The story was kind of just like, I can't even follow this right now. Like, what's going on? Like, yeah. But I honestly did like the ending, by the way, for that movie, by the way. But yeah, other than that, and same thing was it Encanto. I still don't understand Encanto to this day. I really don't understand that movie. I can follow Coco. Like, Coco was fine, but Encanto, like, there were so many loopholes in that movie that nobody really noticed, that only I could have. Either that, I just didn't understand it, to be quite honest with you. I could go on about that. If you guys wanted a whole different video of that, I could do that. But maybe I just need to rewatch it several times just to kind of like understand it. But there's something about Encanto that I just didn't like, I did like Coco, but I didn't like it that the fact that it was getting overhyped than it should be, because the whole Dias Muertos thing. Because honestly, Dias Muertos has always been a thing. It's a Mexican culture thing. But now, since like the cancel generation or whatever, they're like, oh my god, like it's a new flipping holiday that we didn't even know about. No, this has been a holiday for a good while. So ever since that movie came out, like I remember during the time when I was in high school at that time, this is my junior year, and when Coco came out, everyone was pumping Dias Muertos like during that time, and it was just wow. I don't know anything about Dias Muertos, or I can't even pronounce the whole thing, but yeah, I just remember like people pumping out, holiday decorations for that, or it's not holiday decorations, but it's just decorations for that specific season event. But it was just like, wow, like all because of this one movie, which, to be honest, this has been like a years long, and honestly my girlfriend thinks the same way too, but she still likes the movie, like obviously because it's Mexican culture stuff, and which is fine, like I kind of liked it. I like the music and the art style also, but the story's kind of like, I would say, oh my god, but in Disney Encanto, I got an email. Disney Encanto is just like, it wasn't really that good. Disney's Wish was probably one of the definitions of like, yikes, like this is Disney now. Like majority of it wasn't even that good. The story wasn't even that good. It was very lackluster. Maybe I just need to pay attention a little bit more often, because that movie, I was paying attention to the visuals, to be quite honest with you. Like it was really like, wow, like that looks so pretty. But it's just like I remember watching that movie when it came out, and I was just like, oh wow, like the animation looks so cool. Like look at the definitions on the faces, because they have like little like, I don't remember that movie like right now, but I remember like staring at the characters' faces because how like good they look and the backgrounds, and I was just trying to look at subtle things. But for me nowadays, to watch a movie, it has to be kind of pulled towards the type of story. Like it can't just be like, oh yeah, we're a princess, oh, you know, that type of thing. But no, it just has to be story driven. This one wasn't really story driven. It was kind of just like, oh. So yeah, at least for me, because I'm like 26 years old right now. At the time I was like 25 years old. So yeah, that, or 24 I think, or 20, yeah, 25, 24 or something like that. But hey, you know, I believe that movie came out last year, right? I don't even know, to be close with you, because that movie was just there and it was just gone. Like it wasn't even like the box office for that long. It was only there for about like maybe until January, and then once February hit, it was just gone. It was, that's it. Like that was that was it until like Deadpool Wolverine like was announced or kind of coming to theaters. That's when like Wish was just, it was just gone. It was just out of the box office. It was just unheard of. And then they kind of just dropped it in Disney Plus, and everybody was kind of like, oh yeah, it's on Disney Plus. So just, honestly, that movie just like they hyped it so much, and it was so funny that the fact that that movie was just so like it was just overhyped, and then just when you watched it, you're just like, why? Like, oh my gosh, it was so funny. So I really need to get a guest on here to really talk about this Disney stuff. I wish I could probably ask my mom, because my mom is another Disney fan also. I have like a lot of people that are Disney fans, but it's yeah. But anyways, good. On the light note, Deadpool Wolverine made like close to over 1 billion something, I believe, something around there. So that's one of the highest. I believe it passed Inside Out too, I believe. So yeah, there's nothing to say there. It shows proof that, you know, like Disney, you have the IPs to work with, you have the stuff to work with, so work with it. Stop trying to cater to people that you shouldn't even be catering to, because most of your financial stuff is going to the normal general audiences, you know, not the woke generation, not the transgender generation, or those influencers, you know. It's most of the general audiences, like myself, and families, and parents of all ages, you know, or adults of all ages, you know, not the weird ones, the general audiences that physically go to your theme parks and have fun and not worry about, like, you know what they're going to Splash Mountain, they're like, you know what, this ride doesn't, you know, suit me very well. Let's change it. What should we change it to? Don't know, but I just don't like it. How come? I don't really know, Jeremy. I really don't know. Yeah, just kind of think of it. I just found out that this ride is based off of an old movie. From what year? But like 1954. And what was the movie about? It was about slavery, when it really wasn't. It was kind of after slavery, but you know, who's honestly really paying attention, to be quite honest with you? We just want to cancel it just because. So what are we going to change it to? Tiana's Bayou. But here's the thing though, we're going to do it based off in the salt mines. Which, by the way, it doesn't even have a mountain, it's underground, so we're just gonna do it. But why? Why not? You know, like Universal can do it, so why can't we? So fuck it. That's pretty much what Disney is doing right now, and that's what they think that their customer or their audiences and their guests are thinking. No, nobody doesn't just go up to an attraction and be like, you know what? This doesn't like really suit me right now because I'm like 23, 24 years old, and I just think that this doesn't seem right, you know? No, we like the old stuff also, so keep that. Don't touch anything. Don't even like get that out of your head. Like, we don't want that changed. We just want you to make new things with new innovations. Like Star Wars Land, that's fine. Even though that's their biggest IP right now, and you still throw it down the toilet. But hey, you still tried something with it, and it kind of works. You know, you got the lightsaber thing, you got the Millennium Falcon ride, you got the Rise of the Resistance ride. So, hey, you know, it's amazing. You know, it's doing pretty good, even though like Star Tours, and at least at Disneyland, Star Tours is like in Tomorrowland, and Star Wars Land is like in a separate area. But hey, you know, it still works. It's nice. So, you replacing new or old stuff for new stuff doesn't seem right. It really doesn't. That's just legitimate. The actual main part of this whole talk is stop changing old things and just put new things to new things. Don't change old things. Let me start there. Don't change old things for new things. Just because somebody is trying to cancel you and trying to make word about you, because you're a really big company. Don't forget that. You were a really big company, and the fans that are right beside your side, they're going to stand by you no matter what. Even if this movie was, I'm going to go back to Song of the South again, this movie was made in 1954 or some shit like that, or some like that, sorry, excuse me, something like that. So why are you worrying about something that was made in 1950 something when you should be honestly worrying about, or 1960 something, I don't really know. I don't remember what year it was again, so I don't want to re-look it up again. But this is an old movie, made in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. And it's an old movie. We're in 2024, so why are you worrying about something that was made that you didn't even make yourself? Any of the creators that are making the new rides now, or the Imagineers that are following this, I bet some of them are not even happy of what they made so far. So stop trying to hide stuff, the old stuff, and just move on. Weren't you guys the ones in this specific movie, Meet the Robinsons, saying keep moving forward by Walt Disney? You know, the whole quote they had at the end of the movie, keep moving forward. So keep moving forward. Stop moving backwards and try to move forward at the same time. You can't do that. You honestly can't go backwards and go forwards at the same time. You can't. You can't do that with the car. You can't go the whole entire time. You can't go anywhere, right? You're just honestly stuck in back and forth. That's what's pretty much they're trying to apply. They think they could go backwards and forwards at the same time. They can't. You honestly can't. You're just stuck in a little box or whatever. You can't do that. So just keep moving forward. Stop trying to cater to people that are trying to cancel you, and just cater to the people that actually matter. The general audiences. Stop trying to go to the woke culture. Start going to the Disney influencers. Start going to the LG whatever, and just start focusing on your general audiences. Because already majority of the world right now is on fire right now at this point. So do we really need to have political things in our Disney stuff when we're already we have dancing animals, talking cartoons, talking mice, talking dogs, talking ducks, talking whatever? We just need that sense of sanctuary that we can just rely on you, Disney, instead of relying on Universal with their Harry Potter, or Universal with their Nintendo World. Because to be honest with you, video games as a theme park, it's already kind of just wow, this is a thing now. So already, you need to rethink and reevaluate everything what you're doing right now, and just focus on keep moving forward. I'm going to say it really closely. Keep moving forward. Stop moving back and forward at the same time. You already working on Tron, Ares, and all these other movies that you've worked on D23. That is fine. Keep working on those. Stop going backwards. Stop it. It's not helping anything. I'm telling you right now. I'm already over 40 minutes in, and I'm telling you this right now. Stop going backwards and trying to fix something that you can't even fix in the beginning, because it exists. Let me tell you, you can still look up movies of old Disney movies that they're trying to sweep under the rug. You can still watch those. VHS still exists. Digital Blu-ray discs in general, they still exist. People still have memories of Song in the South. They still have memories of old movies that you're trying to replace and trying to hide under, because that exists. You made it, it exists. So same thing as YouTube creators, when they try to hide something that they've done in the past, you cannot hide that anymore. Same thing was when Logan Paul was, filming Suicide Forest in Japan. You cannot hide that. Yes, they forget, he was trying to ask for forgiveness, which is fine, he didn't know anything about it, but still, at the same, or I hope that you knew about it, but still at the same time, it's in the past. Keep moving forward. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm gonna still bring it up, obviously, but he's still moving forward, which is good for him. He's making Prime, even though Prime is really not that good for you, but he's still making Prime. He has a successful business. Same thing as like majority of all YouTubers now. They're still trying to keep moving forward. So why are people bringing up something from the past when it's a past mistake, or either that it's a past thing that they didn't even really even thought of, to be honest with you? Because back in 1954 and back then, remember, racial things were still a thing. That was probably before Martin Luther King Jr. even spoke the words, "I had a dream," whatever. So stop bringing something that's from the past and bring it into now, because it's not really helping the youth, and not only that, helping the history books that we have to learn about just new things that we shouldn't even really brought up. Because remember, we had a pandemic during 2020. We had the Black Lives Matter movement, which honestly didn't really flip and do anything. Let me remind you that the majority of the people that were in Black Lives Matter were mostly white people. Yeah, I'm gonna go on political thing here right now, but I just feel like I really need to rant about this, because Disney, you really need to start paying attention to the people that are actually mattering right now, which again is your general audiences, the people that are legitimately going to be sitting by your side and actually enjoying it. Shoot, my dad doesn't even want to watch the movies anymore because of all the stupid stuff that you've been putting out. So stop going backwards to go forwards. You can't do that. It doesn't make any sense. You can't go backwards to go forwards. You can't. You have to keep moving forward. That's what I keep in my mind. You are the people that make me keep moving forward. Again, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. You realize that your biggest creator of the whole thing that you guys are working at right now, Walter Elias Disney, is the one that made that phrase. Keep moving forward. So why are we moving backwards when we should be moving forwards? I'm going right or left, whatever, backwards, forwards, the Tweedledee, Tweedledum thing, So, sorry, I gotta fly. But keep moving forward. Disney, I'm very passionate about this because I love Disney. That's my comfort spot right there. That gets me away from reality. That gets me, I love watching the old Disney movies. Not so much about the new stuff, but hey, I still watch Incredibles 2 sometimes. I still watch Incredibles 1 and 2. I still watching Finding Dory and Finding Nemo. I still watch Coco from time to time. I watch it every November. So, but hey, the newer stuff, they're not bad. It's just when you try to make something that's catered to only, look at She-Hulk in that matter, and look at Argyle, and look at Agatha the Agatha show, whatever the heck you're making right now. Those shows are kind of like they're just immediately that's just it. Same as the Marvels. Oh my goodness, dude, that movie. Honestly, actually take that back. That movie was kind of half and half for me, because I actually did like the movie because it had really good fight scenes, and I wanted to follow along with that movie a lot. But there was just something that I just didn't like. I don't know what it was. The acting doesn't feel genuine. The story kind of lacked a lot, and it kind of just how do I say it? I get why the villain was the villain, but at the same time, it didn't make me feel like genuine enough. Like it was just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm a villain now just because you destroyed my city, and it's just like, join the club, you know, like flip. Like there's like thousands and thousands of villains in the Marvel universe right now that still hasn't been utilized, by the way. And you don't see them like getting their spotlight, but hey, we got like a random Kree member ends up being a big baddie and just gets defeated like just like that. Like she's, that's it. Like, you know. But hey, Disney, keep moving forward. Stop going backwards. Hopefully, I can edit this. If not, I'll leave in the description below of the channel that I'm talking about. In this Chris, I believe that's what the YouTube channel is called. I don't remember. But please, Disney, keep moving forward. Not backwards. Forwards. Not backwards. Forwards. Or forwards, not backwards. Forwards. Okay? Keep that in mind. I'm telling you, your fan base will be by your side. Instead of focusing on flipping Snow White, which by the way is already looking bad enough already, focus on stuff that are gonna make you successful. Already work with the stuff that you have, because you barely even opened the new Avengers ride at Magic Kingdom, I believe. And it's not even open yet, by the way. It's still in the works. And they're working on Tiana's Bayou, which barely even works. And it's already out. So, keep moving forward. Stop staying in the past. You shouldn't have replaced the Splash Mountain in the beginning. Just keep moving forward, because Avengers Campus is barely even done, by the way. There's still stuff that needs to be done that they've already promised us in the beginning. So, keep moving forward. Stop going backwards. Stop going middlewards. Stop going sidewards or whatever. Start going forward. Stop moving backwards. You're the ones that made this movie. So, oh my god, dude. I'm so flustered that they like replacing Tiki Room with the stupid Moana thing, which honestly they have a Hawaiian pavilion, and I believe that's where the Tiki Room is, but they have a Hawaiian pavilion in Magic or Epcot, so make that a Moana thing. Unless they already did, I don't know. I haven't never been to Magic Kingdom, so fine, you know, fine. They could put Moana at the Tiki Cafe thing that's right behind the Tiki Room. Fine. You know what the Aladdin Oasis was? They could put Moana right there. Put a little stage show and bam, there you go. That's the start of that, and it's probably the cheapest that you can mostly do it. You know, like have the cast members dress up as Moana and Maui, and then there you go. There you go. Just saved you $1,000. I don't really want to know why the heck I'm even telling you this, because honestly, you just don't even care. So I'm telling you this right now. Tiki Room, stay. Moana, just be in a new area. You know? Same thing as Tiana's Bayou. Like I keep saying, just make it as a restaurant, make a little attraction, whatever, you know, have like a little mermaid thing, whatever. Have that, and there you go. That's it. Like just lazily do it. You don't even have to do a whole lot. Like you have a little plot of land, you just, there you go, you know? Like right there. Like, that little cul-de-sac area, you know? Right there. And it could be right behind Tiana's Bayou or Tiana's food place, whatever. There you go. Right there. And not only that, it's right next to the Haunted Mansion, so it's perfect. So right there. So you know what I'm telling you? Like, it just, they have space. They just don't care to utilize it. So Disney, make me CEO, or make me the director of the parks. Because I can tell you right now, the director that you have of the parks, I'm not doing something I want. Either that's Bob Iger or whomever. Just, that's it. I know money is the biggest issue, possibly. Maybe, I don't know. Because Disney, you are a multi-million-dollar company or multi-billion-dollar company. So, it's probably not money. It's probably just being lazy and trying to make a quick buck. But in order to remember the old phrase, you know, like smaller companies usually have, and probably most of the companies have, in order to make more money, you have to spend more money, you know, or spend a little bit more money. So, yeah, we're going to go by that phrase. In order to make money, you have to spend a little bit more money, or spend a little bit of money. So, again, going into the Tiana thing, there's a little plot of land right there. You could just make a small attraction. It didn't even have to be an attraction. It could just be a meet and greet for all I care. Just make or a walk around attraction like the Disney castle that they used to do. So just do something, dude. Or you don't even have to do an attraction. Just do Tiana's thing. Have her meet and greet around the tables and stuff like that. Do something. You guys always do that. So why is this a big issue to make it out of a ride from like 2 rides away? And because the railroad and was the Haunted Mansion and then Tiana's Bayou. It's like literally 2 rides away from the actual restaurant, Tiana's restaurant that they're making. So it's like, why are you doing this 2 rides away? But it doesn't even fit. It's like same thing as Star Tours with Star Wars Land. It's like, why are you putting Star Wars Land all over there? Couldn't you just, like, on the other side of the monorail track, couldn't you just, you know, you have to do a whole lot. You can just, or either that, take out Autotopia. You know, to be honest with you, you guys don't even fix Autotopia in the matter. I mean, I'm not saying that I hate Autotopia. Autotopia is the fact because you guys don't even care for the ride in the first place. So just like, might as well just like change it, you know. But hey, you know, or either that, change it to like at least not go-karts, but just like something that's more reliable instead of just gasoline. But hey, I'm just saying though, like if you guys want to get rid of a ride, you guys already might as well get rid of a ride that you don't even care about in the beginning. You know, you guys don't even care. You didn't even care about Toontown until just now. So I'm glad that they put in Mickey's Runaway Railway ride, whatever the heck it is. So, but hey, you know, I'm just saying that instead of just focusing on reskinning old rides, you should be focusing on making newer rides in a newer area instead of changing an area that already has a lot of foot traffic, and you're just going to make it a whole lot worse because more foot traffic would be in that desert area. So you already have, as I remember, like looking on Google Maps, like, you have maybe like a couple good chunks of land that you could be utilizing. I don't know if that's just for the staff or whatever, or is this for the Disney graveyard that people keep mentioning. I don't know anything about that. But you know, the whole point is that you honestly need to make newer stuff for just the new generation, yeah. But also keep the older stuff for the older generation, you know. That's why people go to Disneyland. Why do you think older people go to Disneyland? Because they miss going to Tiki Room. They miss going to It's a Small World. They miss going to, I don't know, the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blast. I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't know what old people do over there. So, hey, you know, replacing something old is honestly a monument. You shouldn't be scared of something that you've made in the past, you know. So that's gonna be the end of the episode. I was gonna make this really, really short, but I got like really flustered at the fact because they're replacing something that's iconic just to throw it away for an IP, which is already excruciating already because they don't even really focus on their IPs in the first place. Because already, like, Star Wars is already in the toilet right now, kind of. It's kind of in the toilet because they're trying new things, but it's not working, you know, because they're trying to cater to the woke generation, So, I'm doing this because like they're not really woke. They don't really know what they're really talking about, to be quite honest with you. But and finding out that they're trying to sweep under the rug method to hide stuff. Because wait until they find out, when people find out when they watch. Wait until people start watching more of these movies, then you discover like, oh my god, they have slavery in it. Because I remember in Temple of Doom, there were slaves in there. And not only that, and Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's a religious thing. They bring out the Bible. Same thing is in Last Crusade. Same thing is in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So your biggest IP, or one of your biggest IP, or one of your IPs, not biggest, I think it's the biggest, but the IPs that you have right now are religious, and you just made not a religious thing, but it was Dial of Destiny. But still, don't forget, I'm not trying to like bring up any fluster, because I love these movies. I have the 4, and I just need the 5th. And hopefully Young Indiana Jones series, once I ever get that. But hey, you have that, so don't hide something that you've made, okay? Don't be ashamed of what you made, Disney, because honestly, that's what makes you you. That's what makes you a billion-dollar company, is by putting those stuff out. Don't be scared of doing that. So it's coming from me, from a legitimate Disney fan that's been literally since out of the womb been a big Disney fan. What my mom told me, my baby shower was Winnie the Pooh. So lately they haven't really been paying attention to Winnie the Pooh. So hey, where's the Winnie the Pooh live action movie besides Christopher Robin? Why don't we get Many of the Adventures of Winnie the Pooh live action? I know I probably might ruin it, but hey, they just whatever. I'm gonna end it off on there. It's been a whole hour, and this is probably gonna take me a whole hour to upload and to edit. So in the meantime, keep this in mind, everybody. Keep moving forward. Stop trying to fix something that's in the past, like all that historical, political stuff that had nothing to do with you. Nothing that you weren't there to deal with. Even if you could, even if you were born there, you couldn't do anything. Unless like you're a political idol or a god or whatever that matters, you cannot change something that doesn't affect you in any other way besides you getting offended. That's what I've been learning as an adult, as a 26-year-old adult, is that anything that you did or anything that anybody has done in the past cannot change anything. It only makes you stronger. That's what made Disney Disney. Anything that you did in the past and you feel mistaken about in the past, that's what makes you stronger. That's what makes you learn from it. But you not learning from it and trying to change it and trying to make it something new doesn't work. You have to learn from those mistakes and to make it better. Okay? So keep moving forward, Disney. Please. Okay? See you guys on the flip side. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys the next time. Alright? I believe this is like episode 6. So, yeah. Alright, bye.